that immigrants and this and that, and we gotta go for Donald Trump. Y'all thought that he was gonna be your hero. He don't like y'all. Yo, poor, you're poor. He don't like you. He don't like you. He don't give a if you black, white, Asian, Spanish. If you poor, he don't like you. He ain't for you. Okay? He ain't for you. And now, ain't no food stamps. Y'all gonna have to hunt raccoons and shit for Thanksgiving and eat beans and shit.
I've been here trying to find something to eat because I'm homeless. I have a little one to take care of, and I have to make sure she eats every day. So, unfortunately, it sucks to come through shit like this. But what else can I do? What else can I afford? Shit, I'm an Army veteran. I mean, look what's happened to me since '91. Missing fingers, I got metal in both arms, metal in my head. Look at that one. I can't put my baby to bed at night.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for mine. But it just made me feel like I know that my service wasn't in vain. That somebody appreciates something. Thank you.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got a hot topic to get into. Cardi B is catching major heat, not from rival fans, not from other rappers, but from veterans. Yeah, you heard that right. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop a comment if you love this kind of content. All right, let's dive in. Angry veterans and service members are dragging Cardi B after she made some seriously insensitive comments about people losing their SNAP benefits, also known as food stamps. And what makes this worse? Cardi's standing firm, refusing to apologize, doubling down, and honestly, making things even messier. So today, we're breaking it all down. What Cardi said, why people are furious, how this connects to the bigger issue of food insecurity, and whether this might be the controversy that finally dents her image. Grab a snack, hopefully one you didn't have to hunt raccoons for, and let's get into it. So, here's how it all started. A few days ago, Cardi B went live and started ranting about the recent SNAP benefit cuts, the government's food assistance program that millions of Americans rely on to eat. And instead of showing concern or empathy, she decided to mock people who were upset about losing their benefits. She said, and I quote, "Ain't no food stamps. Y'all gonna have to hunt raccoons for Thanksgiving and eat beans." Yeah, that's what she said. Now, it might have been meant as a joke, or maybe Cardi thought she was making a political point, but people didn't see it that way, especially not the millions of families, including veterans, who actually rely on SNAP to survive. And what really lit the fire? Cardi blamed the situation on people voting for Donald Trump instead of Kamala Harris, basically saying they brought it on themselves. So not only did she mock struggling families, she made it political and personal.
So I see a lot of people complaining about the SNAP benefits being taken away, as in food stamps, which is crazy that it's happening because in less than a month or in less than a month, we have Thanksgiving, right? And this is the shit that be pissing me the off about y'all. No, the reason why we broke is because of the immigrants and the Mexicans and the this and that. No, we're broke because we just went through a what's that shit called? My bad shit, man. That whole COVID shit, this was gonna happen regardless. And y'all was gonna have somebody that was for the people, that was gonna make sure that y'all was good. And now we're up. Tariff is through the roof. You know how you know that the economy is bad? Because not even the prostitutes is getting fly. When have you seen a hoe with a good Chanel bag?
Within hours, social media was on fire. But this wasn't your usual Stan War drama. This time, the backlash came from veterans, military families, and even service members still on duty. They flooded Twitter and TikTok with posts calling Cardi out for being heartless, tone deaf, and completely disconnected from reality. One veteran wrote, "Cardi B can joke about hunting raccoons all she wants. Some of us actually have to dig through trash to feed our families. We fought for this country, and this is how we're treated." Another said, "How dare she laugh at people struggling when she came from the same place? From welfare and Section 8. Did she forget where she came from?" And y'all, that's the part that stings most for people. Cardi has publicly talked about growing up poor. She once tweeted, "I'm a product of welfare. I'm a product of poverty." She's even told stories about her mom being humiliated when applying for benefits. So for her to turn around and mock people going through that same struggle, it hits different. It feels like betrayal, and instead of apologizing, Cardi doubled down. She stood 10 toes down on what she said, telling people she was just being real. Let's pause for a second and talk about why this whole SNAP issue is such a big deal. SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, helps over 40 million Americans put food on the table. That includes veterans, seniors, single moms, disabled people, and even folks working full-time jobs who still can't afford groceries because the economy is rough right now. And it's not just about free handouts, it's about survival. For example, according to Feeding America, 20% of people who rely on food banks are veterans. In Louisiana alone, around 9% of veterans depend on SNAP to feed themselves and their families. Now, imagine telling those same veterans, people who served this country, risked their lives and came home with PTSD or chronic illnesses, to go hunt raccoons because their benefits got cut. That's not funny. That's cruel. And to make things worse, recent federal changes made SNAP eligibility even stricter. The government raised the age limit for work requirements from 54 to 64, meaning even older adults and disabled veterans now have to work or train 20 hours a week just to qualify. Many of them physically can't. So these cuts aren't just numbers on a screen. They're real meals lost, real families hungry, and real people humiliated just to survive.
Where are the celebrities? Where are the mothers? Where is Kim Kardashian? Where is Cardi B? Where is Taylor Swift? Where is Beyonce? 40 million people are about to lose their food assistance, and they do not care because they are part of the system. Wake up! Nobody needs Skims when they're actually skin and bone. Nobody needs 12 albums with the same music. Wake up, they don't care.
Here's where things get even more frustrating. The SNAP cuts didn't happen in a vacuum. The Trump administration also slashed $500 million from programs that provided food to community food banks. So now, even food banks are running dry. People can't get food stamps, and they can't get help from food banks either. Meanwhile, reports say the government somehow found $300 million to build a new luxury ballroom at Trump's property for foreign meetings. Make it make sense. People are starving. Veterans are digging through trash. And the government's priorities seem to be everywhere, but with the people who need it most. So, when Cardi B made that video laughing about people going hungry, it came across like she was mocking the victims of a broken system, not the system itself. And that's why the backlash hit so hard. Let's put some faces to this. CBS interviewed a veteran named Rob Ham, who served multiple tours in Afghanistan as a paratrooper and combat photographer. He and his unit were exposed to toxic burn pits, chemicals that could cause cancer down the line. He told reporters he's accepted that he'll probably get sick one day, but now he can't even rely on SNAP or VA programs to keep him fed or healthy. That's the kind of person Cardi's comments hit hardest. People who gave everything for this country and came home to nothing. And the reality is, veterans make up a huge portion of the homeless population in the US. Many rely on food stamps to keep themselves and their families alive. So yeah, when a millionaire rapper laughs about people hunting raccoons, they take that personally. What makes all this even more ironic is that Cardi B has been there. She's talked about struggling as a kid. She's talked about being on Section 8 and her mom using food stamps. She's used her story as inspiration for fans, proof that you can make it out of poverty. So how do you go from that to laughing at people still stuck in the struggle? People online are calling it selective empathy. It's like once you get money, suddenly poverty becomes a punchline. And that's a dangerous attitude, especially when you built your brand on being real and relatable. Some fans even said, Cardi's forgetting that the same people she's clowning are the ones who buy her music, her tickets, and her merch. And that's not even the end of it. Now, here's where things take a twist. Rumors have been circulating that Cardi B might be facing financial trouble herself. Blind items online claim her label, Atlantic Records, is considering dropping her, allegedly because she owes them millions of dollars and can't pay it back. Again, this is all alleged, but if there's any truth to it, the irony writes itself. Clowning people for being broke while your own finances are shaky? Not a good look. So where does this leave us? Cardi B says she's just being real. But being real doesn't mean being cruel. Yes, people make bad political choices sometimes. Yes, we can debate policies all day. But mocking people for being poor, especially veterans, seniors, and struggling parents, that's never okay. Cardi could have used her platform to shine a light on how unfair these cuts are. Instead, she chose mockery. And now, she's paying for it with public backlash that's not dying down anytime soon. Because when you lose empathy, you lose the people. So what do you think? Do you believe Cardi B crossed the line? Or do you think people are overreacting and she was just trying to make a point? Drop your thoughts below, keep it respectful, and if you love a deep dive into celebrity drama, hit that like, tap subscribe, and don't forget to watch the next video, because what comes after this might just change how you see the entire entertainment world.